So last week, a learner driver emailed me to let me know she was having some difficulty with a particular junction in her area. This had caused her to lose serious marks on her test. And she actually managed to send me a video file of her doing the junction, which was very handy for me because I was able to see what she was doing wrong and to make a note of her mistakes. So luckily enough, there's a junction very similar to this in Wexford, which I went to yesterday, and I'm going to show you those clips now very soon. But first of all, here's a graphic that I created of that junction she's talking about. So let's have a look at that first. So as you can see, it's a bit of a T-junction, but it's kind of at an angle. So that means that you have a fairly good view to the right, but on the left, it's a little bit more difficult to see. Now I noticed that the learner was certainly not giving enough looks left and right as she was waiting at the line. And I didn't see her get the one last look as well, like the confirmation look. At one point, after stopping, she got one look to the left and then a gap of about 2 or 3 seconds elapsed before she actually made her move to the right. Now that gap is far too long and a lot of things can happen. You have to keep refreshing the looks and keep the head moving just to keep things up to date. Because it's a bit blind, it is important to be comfortable with your handbrake and your clutch here as well so that you can creep out and lean forward for a better view. I noticed as well that on the approach to this junction, the girl didn't check her mirrors and she also rolled back because she wasn't using the handbrake. And then because of that, I think from looking at the video footage, she started focusing too much on the pedals and on not rolling back, and therefore the observation suffered, unfortunately. So the 5 mistakes that I spotted were no mirrors on the approach, no handbrake when she stopped on the hill, some rollback, she wasn't leaning forward and creeping out for a better view, and certainly not enough looks. Now this is the junction in Wexford that is remarkably similar to the junction that she has in her area. It's a T-junction, it's fairly open on the right, but tricky and blind on the left because there's a pole there in the way, and it's just an awkward old angle anyway, you know. It's on a hill, so it requires the handbrake to be used, and you need to creep forward as well for a better view, as I said, using good clutch control, and it's important as well to be comfortable with your handbrake use. This is the perfect time to put into practice some of the skills that you have learned up to this point. For example, using the handbrake, making sure you're in first gear and getting the bite. And we can't forget the importance of clutch control, creeping out for a better view in a slow and controlled manner. Now I'm just coming up now to do this junction here now that I was talking about. So I'm going to check my mirrors, indicate right, just kind of gradually coming over to the right a little bit. Check the mirrors again. Little kind of look left and right just to preview it there. See a silver car coming down. Preview again, and a nice gentle stop. Just letting gravity do most of the work. Handbrake, because I'm on a hill. First gear, you have to use the handbrake here. Now I'm just creeping up, getting the looks in, looking both ways, checking out. Last look, and we're all good then. So it's important there that I use my handbrake so I didn't roll back. I got lots of quick looks both ways to keep the observation fresh in my head, and then once it was safe, off I went then with the last look, just to confirm everything is okay. This acronym here is called ROBO, and this might help you to remember the main points if you're at a junction similar to this in the future. R is the first letter. This means roll or rollback. So watch out for the rollback here and use your handbrake. The next letter is O. O is for the number 1. Okay, make sure you're in first gear because sometimes learner might pull up the handbrake, but then they accidentally try and creep out or move off in second gear. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often, but I've seen it happen, and then they stall unfortunately and they can get flustered from there. The next letter is B. B is for bite. Make sure you feel the bite so the car doesn't roll back. That means getting a little bit of juice, bringing the clutch up till you feel that connection, and then you have the bite, and hopefully that means it's strong enough to prevent any kind of rollback. The last O is probably the most important one, and that is observation. So that means keeping the head moving, looking left and right, leaning your body forward so you can get a better view, and keeping the head moving, keeping your eyes peeled, and of course getting the one last look as you pass over your stop or your yield line. Thank you very much for any support you have been giving me by Revolut or by PayPal. I really appreciate it. Links will be in the description if you would like to support the channel. You can email me at danetyghe@gmail.com whether you want me to look at your report sheet or if you have some video clips of you driving that you'd like me to analyse. In the meantime, best wishes, safe travels, good luck if you're driving, best of luck if you have a test coming up, and I'll see you soon. Slán go fóill.